I told ChatGPT I was going to build a bug hotel and asked it for the correct size holes for insects. It came up with a list of specifications for different little critters that roam around in the outdoors. It also gave me a materials list and a diagram with useful information. And here is where I want to put it. Time to measure up. I have no idea why that coriander's growing there. This is supposed to be full of wild flowers for little insects to enjoy. Let's go through my scrap wood pile, see what I can find. I've also got some fire starter kindling. That should come in handy. A few canes from the garden. The idea is that you build this sort of thing with stuff that you already have. Nothing special. I think that'll do for the base. I'm also going to use very little tools with this as well. I think my chop saw and a drill is about as far as I want to go to make it nice and quick and easy. My chatbot said 15 to 20 centimeters deep. That's close enough. Some random bits on the top with plenty of cubby holes. I'm sure I can mess around with that. Let's get on with it. It's made life a lot easier to design small projects or any projects. You just ask the AI and it gives you a broad brief of what you need to do. And there was a time where you'd have to have lots of knowledge or head down to your local library or spend a lot of time searching around the internet. And you simply don't have to do that anymore. I've managed to nick myself. Great job, Tweety Bird. I wanted to see how easy this was, doing it with a minimum of tools. And little offcuts that I've got. Of course, you can use anything that you've got that's suitable. The beauty of this sort of thing is that it doesn't have to be perfect. My chatbot said that this is better with a solid back to it. I don't have a large piece of wood for the back, but what I've got a piece of oak. So on layer one, I think I'll cut him with a chop saw and just stick him in. It won't matter if there's a few gaps and a few holes. It's not supposed to be perfect. Of course you can do all your cuts by hand, but for me, having a chop saw just saves hours and hours of time. It's well worth the investment. If you're interested in this little contraption, I've got a video on the channel. It helps me to cut small pieces of wood safely. Beautiful job. For the next layer, I've got this piece of fence post. It's got a nice big cavity underneath, and I may drill some holes in the front. I've also got this triangular shaped piece of oak, and what I thought I'd do with that, looks like a giant wedge of cake. What I thought I'd do with that is do some trench cuts through here, like so, just some random ones, and see if I can create some cavities and space. But that was easy enough. Got these little slivers in here which I can just pop out and use to fill a gap somewhere else. I'm happy with that. I'll put some holes in this and then we'll do the next layer. It's going quite well so far. Got this piece of wood. I think it might be maple. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments. I was going to chop him in half. So I've got this piece at the back, and that will create a nice base for the next layer. This structure is going to need a roof. So I've got this big piece of oak, and I thought that would make a nice roof to go on top. If I angle it a bit, then the rain will run off. So here's where we're at. I've screwed them all together. I did need to put a little bit of glue on in various places just to give it an extra bit of strength and stop it rocking around. You can see a few of the screws at the back. But the good thing about this is that nothing is uniform, nothing is square. In nature, nothing's straight or square. It's all a bit higgledy-piggledy. And that helps all the little animals. So I'm quite pleased with that. It's probably a little over-engineered for what it needs to be with the amount of screws I've got in there. But I know that it's going to last for a long, long time. I really wanted the roof to slope forwards, but it's gone a bit skew-with and he's going backwards. So what I've decided to do is just play around with some odd bits of wood, and then I'm going to have him sloping down. I'll take this little bit of bark off as well, and then I'll put the roof on. I really don't like the look of that piece of oak on top of there. It looks too tidy, too square. The rest of it all looks a bit gnarly, which I quite like. But before I fill it up, what I want to do is improve this roof. So what I've got is some, what would you say that is? Some veneer, just an offcut. It's about 7 or 8 mil, I would imagine. So I'm going to cut little roof tiles for it. Something I wasn't expecting to do, but it could improve the whole thing. I won't lie to you, I had a little bit of a change of plan. This piece here, it was sat kind of like that, and it was a bit too flat and I didn't like it. And I wanted this to slope really. So what I did, I had a piece of wood up underneath there. I just took him off and I re-screwed all this. And these bits of veneer I cut to make roof tiles. So I think by doing that, not only do I get a nice slope for a runoff, then I also get it to blend in a little bit better. I plan on just gluing and screwing those tiles on. I think that'll make a much better job and you won't see anything. If you're wondering how I split these, all I did was get one, and then I've got my chisel. This is a Halter-Falls chisel, building chisel. I've forgotten what they call it exactly, but it's really good. I just put him on the edge, tapped him down, obviously this way, tapped him down with a bit of wood, and he just split that beautifully with those two pieces placed on top. I can put my next shingle or roof tile on the top. I then know that I can screw, by moving forward an inch, up to those points there. When I put him back on, you'll never see it. So I put 2 screws in there to hold him down. I now know that this piece can go on top. That's my approximate line there. So we go with a bit more glue. The nice thing about a little project like this is I get to use up all my little odds and sods. This is the last of my glue that I've got in this little tub. I'm also going through my little box of random screws just to find anything that'll work for me. I thought I'd put the legs on before I finish this off. What I've got is some 40mm water pipe, and the reason for this is that this is going to go on the ground, so it'll stop the base from rotting, and it should also give me a nice gap underneath where you can get all your creepy crawlies going there, and I'll probably put some canes in there as well to give a few more hiding places. Welcome to day 2. I glued the roof tiles on yesterday, so I just wanted to leave it to dry. This is where we're at so far. We've got lots of holes drilled in a big piece of oak log. We've got our saw cuts in that other piece of oak there. We've got more holes drilled. You've got the idea. Created interesting spaces for little critters. The roof's looking good, I'm pleased with that. He's got a nice slope to keep the worst of the weather off. I've collected up various bits and pieces to fill it with. The chatbot suggested a range of materials to use, including broken pottery. I don't have broken pottery. I've got a couple of these posh cups I'm going to put in the bottom. It also said about corrugated cardboard, hollow reeds, which I don't have. I've got some canes which I've cut down and I've tried to drill through as far as possible, and various other odds and sods that I'm going to stuff with bits of leaf, etc., bits of debris. This is just some hose that I've got, some plastic hose. Bit more of the tubing. I've got the 40mm tubing. I've got a toilet roll tube here. Let's put it together. Well, that was easy enough to do. Shoved everything in a higgledy-piggledy way. I guess the only hard and fast rule is that if you give nature a home, nature will thrive. I put red around the holes of this wood that I drilled, and the reason for that is GPT said if you do that, it attracts lacewings. They're little tiny flying insects which are essential for the biodiversity of a healthy garden. Let's put this bad boy outside and see how he looks in the wild. So with a little help from ChatGPT, we've created a bug hotel. He's nestled in nicely behind the bog garden. I've left a gap at the front for little critters, little amphibians to be able to get in there to get on to the first level. Overall, I'm quite pleased with that, considering it's just made out of a bit of scrap wood and some odds and sods lying about. So was ChatGPT useful in creating this little wood project? Absolutely.